My first job was a firefighter. I was hired as a firefighter at Idaho City, Idaho, and that was my first job with the Forest Service.
When I was a firefighter some 35 years ago when I first started, we didn't have to deal with these conditions we're seeing today. But what we're seeing today, we've been seeing it for the last few years. When we get this set of conditions, these fires are somewhat explosive. In what used to maybe take 2 or 3 weeks to be able to burn 100,000 acres, we're seeing that happen now in 2 or 3 days. That's the sort of thing that's so hard for the public to understand, the conditions that these firefighters are dealing with.
I've been thinking about this quite a bit, and here's my thing. I think that firefighting is one of the last activities that people in today's society can do that you actually face a primal fear. Like fighting and facing fire is a primal fear. It's like being eaten by a larger animal. It goes back to caveman times. And this is one of those activities that we challenge ourselves, that we can actually go and face that primal element.
I think I'm secretly a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, so that always makes it interesting. It's nice, it tests you. You're kind of always in a changing environment.
Stepping out of your comfort zone, and it's all for the greater good for society. And there's not a lot of activities in our lives these days that allows you to do that.
This will be my 9th fire season. I know I look like I'm 12.
This is my 27th fire season.
This season, this is my first one, but throughout the years, I mean, I've been in many fires.
I've been doing this 16 years.
14 years.
This is my 4th year. 9th. It's 9th year for me.
God's blessed me to have the physical ability to stomp around out here, and I love doing it, and my wife lets me do it.
To be a fireman, you got to want to do this. That's number one. I won't say that it's for everyone, because it's not. You just have to, just like any other job, you just have to love it.
I love the forest. I've played in the woods my whole life. We had forested acres when I was growing up, so it's just probably another reason I like this job. It's just something that's familiar to me, and I love being out in it.
And if you lost any poison oak, we found it. My guys have got it here, 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 and here. Every day.
You're going to put yourself in positions that a lot of people are not comfortable putting themselves in, whether that's facing fire, facing fear, or being up 10 nights in a row with 3 hours of sleep, sleeping in the dirt, and just being away from home is not easy for some people. It's physically exhausting, so you've got to be prepared for all those things.
It's a hard process. This is very steep ground. Access in some areas is very difficult, and so a lot of it is up direct line, up next to the fire, hand line if you will, and hose lays following it up.
What I do as a fire behavior analyst is I look at the fuels, the weather, the topography, and then I determine through modeling where we expect the fire to go, how fast we expect it to spread, what kind of flame lengths we expect to see, so we know how long we have to get lines in place, whether we can do direct attack. If our flame lengths are low enough, conditions are mellow enough, we can get right in at the head of the fire and knock it down. But if conditions are too intense, we have to back up and do some indirect attack.
There are three basic ways to combat a fire, to attack a fire. One is with ground personnel. They're cutting line, beating flames, doing backburns and stuff like that. And then you have engines, like regular fire engines. Forestry engines are a little smaller, a little more rugged for the different terrains. And then the third way is with aircraft. They'll go to a water source. The most favorable is a pond or a lake. They will also dip out of deep spots in rivers. They'll lower it down into the water and it fills up, and there's a releasing mechanism on the bottom of the bucket. And then they'll take it to whatever area of the fire they need to deliver it and press a button to release it.
looking good deal. Coming in, heads up. Ah!
Our fire seasons today are 60 to 70 days longer than what they were, especially when I started my career, or even 15 years ago. Not only is that a longer fire season, but that's another 60 to 70 days that the fuels can dry out. They really add to these conditions. The other part of it is just the extreme weather. So here this year, once again, we're having record-setting low humidities, low fuel moistures. And that's what it takes to be able to get a fire like this.
Everything becomes drier, the burning season becomes longer, fires start earlier, they last longer, and we're going to have more of these kind of fires.
Well, there's just no question that climate change has really affected what we're dealing with today.
And if change continues, we're going to see more large fires burning very intensely and having severe effects. In as much as our use of fossil fuels has changed climate, we are partially responsible for what's happening here.
My name is Karina Lowe, and we are in the Iron Door Grill in Groveland, California. To be honest, I'm more heartbroken about the loss of the forest than the loss of our homes. Those won't be back to the way they were until my children are old, so that's pretty sad. We had an oak tree in front of one of our homes that burnt down that was over 1,000 years old, that our dogs regularly treed bears in, as a matter of fact, and the bears used to climb to this branch that was right in front of our window at our house, so my mother used to talk to the bears and try to be their friend, I guess. And those are dear memories to me, so to see it laying on the ground and all gray and ash was a little bit more sad than the home being a pile of ash, actually. Those things are just irreplaceable.
The woods, I love it out there. It's kind of, you get up in the top of the mountains and there's kind of get this majestic feeling, and sometimes it's unexplainable, being up there in the top of the mountain looking out over, you look out over several valleys and the treetops, and sometimes you're above the clouds, and it's just an amazing view. But overall, the forest, I just love being out in the forest, in the woods.
My name is Dan Courtney. I own a property on Sawmill Mountain Road right over here. The property itself is surrounded by old growth forest. We have some incense cedar, only a few incense cedars, but we figure those are over 1,000 years old. Sugar pines are probably about, on average, 100, 150 feet tall. Mature, probably 400 or 500 years old on average. They got a sheriff escort to the property yesterday and was able to see it. I drove right by my driveway, didn't even recognize it. I'm used to looking for the trees, pine trees, some oak, cedar. They were all gone. And so I went down the driveway, and a lot of the trees on both sides were burned out, black, just ash like a foot deep or so. Well, I'd been told the day before that that my house had survived, so I knew that. It was just a matter of how many trees survived. But as I came up the road and everything was black, it looked like just Armageddon. Trees are everything. I actually, to tell you the truth, I wasn't even that, I mean, I hate to lose the cabin and the stuff in it, but when you rebuild the cabin, I was much, and still am, much more worried about the trees, because what good is it coming up there if you don't have these, that's the whole point of it, is you got these beautiful trees. It's all you see from the property, surrounded by huge forest. So the trees are everything, and I'm hoping that they survive. But
well, I've asked my pastor and my family and my church back home to pray for me that I can do what I need to do at the right time. I've spent my whole forestry career learned how to fight fire, and it brings me up to the point where I am now. I didn't just start doing this yesterday, and I do the very best I can. I've got 31 years of work experience, a lot of it out here on Western Fires, and things I've learned I try to bring to every division that we work, every shift that we work. I've always been an outdoor person, and fire is a part of nature. Good Lord put it here a long time ago, but fire can be good or bad. When fire comes down to town and starts to burn things that don't need to get burned up, somebody's got to get out there and stop it.
Every firefighter here, if you have 1,000 people eating dinner tonight, there's not one person, not one firefighter here that wouldn't put their life in danger to save anyone else that eat at these tables, you know?
There's stuff coming down everywhere all the time, especially in the fires. There's holes out there. You know, you think you got it covered, you get to looking up, and then, it bites you from below. You get to looking down, and it bites you from above. So it's kind of like the book says, look up, look down.
I've had friends in the fire service die in the line of duty. I've seen guys around me hurt. I've been on fires where young men were killed.
It's awesome to drive through here and see everything you guys give us.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, every driveway has a heart on it. It's just, they're opening their homes, their meals. You can't get that anywhere but here. And we'll do it again next year if you light it.
Yeah. I love those guys. I love everybody here. I mean, we would do anything for each other.